Well, yeah, I was flicking around and I stumbled upon this new flick called Die Alone. Right? It is the latest joint from Lowell Dean, who wrote and directed. It is produced by Benjamin DeWalt, Kevin DeWalt, Danielle Masters, with executive production from Peter Salvage, Jeff Sackman, Maurice Roulard, Isabella Machis Ragona, Garrett Patton, Barry Merowitz, Isabel Legout, Elizabeth Hodgkinson, Larry Greenberg, Eric Goslin, Kevin D. Forrester, Kirk D'Amico, and Paul Cadu, with line production from Mark Montague. Todd Branton took care of the score. Mark Dubrescu was on cinematography. Okay, so Tim Fermier edits the piece, right? Now, casting was taken care of by Carmen Koitik and Jessica Sherman. Adrian Traquia is on production design. Art direction is Patrick Acuna. We've got set decoration from Caroline Harris. Brenda Shenher is costume design. Hair and makeup, Lee Brooke Acuna, Julian Demir, Nicole Damel, Sheila Erdman, Nina MacArthur, Erin Peters, Werner Petrosius, Krista Stevenson, Caroline Williams, and Emerson Ziffel. We then have got... Okay, so... Casey Marcus is special effects. Bill Ferguson is stunts. And our cast. Well, people, we have got Carrie-Anne Moss as May. Douglas Smith is Ethan. Emma is played by Kimberly-Sue Murray. We've got Kai, played by Frank Grillo. Jonathan Cherry is Tom. Amy Matisio is Jolene. Leo Fafard is Hunter. Sarah Mercier is Sarah. Stephen Roy is the Wolf. The Fox is Harlan Blaine Kayawat. Caroline is Palmer Tassad. Driver is Jason Trong. Sam is Grayson Dubois. Ashman, George Grassick. Monstrous Man is Ryland Alexander. Jawless Woman is Laura Abramson. Ty is Ina Hardelson. Okay, so the gist of after the worldwide destruction of nature, it revenges and releases a virus lethal to humans. There is an outbreak, and the young Ethan and his girlfriend Emma, who is a physician, flee from the city to the house by the lake they own. Ethan is tired and sleeps while driving, crashing their car into a tree. When he wakes up, he does not see Emma and looks for her. He is saved from two armed strangers by a middle-aged woman, May, and she brings him to her house. Ethan has amnesia and the right forearm in a cast, but wants to look for Emma. Along the days, he has recollections of pieces of his life until he recalls what happened to Emma and him. Okay. I mean, more or less, right? It's never specified that nature's been destroyed or, nature sent out a virus. Like, we're just kind of told that, we've been testing with viruses and all of this for ages and one got loose, right? It was one of those situations. Now, I might have missed it, but I don't recall it mentioned that Emma was a physician either. But yeah, maybe I missed that, people. Maybe I did. Well, I mean, it was interesting, we do start off with kind of the end. It's one of those. I am kind of getting tired of it, because it kind of leads you in a direction where it's going, right? And you can draw a lot of conclusions. You then don't believe in peril situations, right? So it is a bit frustrating, but we have that, and then we jump to Ethan and Emma in a car. All right, they're trying to get to a safe place because shit has gone down. And Ethan, he's kind of like, you get the sense he's a little ill. Because Emma's like, I can drive, I can help drive. And then he crashes. Right, and as it says, when he wakes up, she's not there. But, right, he comes across a guy in a kind of, a Mad Max type of car. And it's all about to go down until he is saved by May. And then that leads us into all of this, right? And yeah, I mean, like, it is interesting with the way Dean tries to unfold this story. You know what I mean? It's kind of giving us some character development, but not a lot, right? Because Ethan, he's got this kind of amnesia, but he's kind of remembering bits and pieces of life and interactions and stuff like that. Now, I think one of the big things is, right, so you crash your car and, you wake up and your girlfriend's not there, right? This is the thing I'm thinking. Now, you said if you split up, you'd meet in this spot, in this cabin, right? But the thing being, you've crashed a car, you're not dead. Is she going to then just go to the cabin? Like, that makes no sense. You know what I mean? Because you're fleeing from a danger, right? You're fleeing from this thing that's happening to the world. So there is this panic and everything like that. But, right, you're both going together. You're in love, you're a team, all of this. So are we meant to believe that she is leaving Ethan in the car, even though he's alive? He's not trapped. You know what I mean? There's nothing like pinning him to the seat or anything like that. So we're meant to believe that she's like, oh, you know what? I'll just go to the cabin on my own. And he'll meet me there, right? It doesn't make any sense. there's a few things like that in the film where you know the things don't quite add up, right? So it is a bit baffling, right? It is a bit baffling. So yeah, they go to the cabin. May's trying to help Ethan in a way. He's just anxious all the time. He's like, I've got to go find Emma. I've got to go find Emma. Even though it's the middle of the night. And it's just like, okay, well, I don't think you're going to find her in the middle of the night, right? Like, that just seems bonkers. Because he has this amnesia, but we don't know, like, because sometimes people have amnesia of the short-term memory or the long-term memory. Do you know what I mean? So they remember some things, but not everything. And it's clear Ethan's kind of like that, but then in some instances he's not like that. So it is a little inconsistent, right? So you are kind of like, I mean, what does he know and what does he not know? Right? He knows how to hold a gun. Okay, that's convenient, right? You know what I mean? There's things like that. He knows how to drive. Oh, that's, you know. And you do kind of think again, why would you leave keys in a car? You know? Like, yeah, there are these things that don't quite add up. Now, I think it's shot well, right? It does give you that post-apocalyptic vibe. So they do a good job with that and, you know, setting everything up. But, I mean, there's so many films to give you that template because essentially they all kind of give everything the same aesthetic. You know what I mean? But there's nothing wrong with that because, yeah, if things are going derelict and everything like that, there is a certain look, you know? So we have all of this. I mean, there are people who we meet along the way. Everyone is kind of well washed and all of this. When you do think in this kind of situation, are people going to be like that? Because come on now, we saw during the, the lockdown BS, people just started wearing, like tracksuits and looking unsheveled. What's the word? Just looking scruff, right? So you can imagine the people that probably didn't shower in a few days, right? Because they're not leaving their yards. So if the world's really, really gone to shit, yeah, people are going to be looking, they're not going to be looking fresh to death. You feel me? So, those little details do add up, right? Because that sells you on the situation, right? And the dire need of the people, So, we have things like that. We get a flashback to an incident at a petrol station. And I will say that, there's an incident that takes place and we see the distance, but that seems to change, right? That seems to change. And we also get the impression this isn't the first time that they've stumbled upon something like this, as it were. So if that's not the first time, then you would know, there's certain things that you would know and you wouldn't do, right? So, yeah, there's things that don't quite add up on that front. And I think the understanding that a thing can be done, you would think that a few things would have had to have happened for you to realize this thing. Right? And things would have had to have happened. You would have think a period of time to some effect. So, yeah, these kind of things aren't really dealt with or explained in a way. Right? I think the film does. It's kind of, you get the essence of what's going on, right? You do get that, especially after certain flashbacks, right? Because it's just like, okay, if this is this, then, for the other thing to happen, then, right? Look, that's the kind of vibe that you get, I would say. Now, the acting is decent, right? The acting is pretty good for what we have. But it's just some of the story beats themselves that I think hold this film back from being greater than it is necessarily. Right? I mean, it's good to see Carrie-Anne Moss doing her thing. You know, Frank Grillo was good. Right? I think Ethan isn't bad, but the character is a little tiresome, a little wet, a little... Right? I don't think you are enamored by him. So you don't really care what happens to him as such. It's just more you want to see how the story plays out rather than, oh, I hope he can find Emma, right? I don't think you really care enough about him, right? And this whole situation, which is aside, it's a shame, right? It is a shame. But I think those who like a zombie flick and something that's a little bit different, I think they will gravitate to stuff like Die Alone. You know? It's not terrible or anything like that. It's just not able to reach its full potential, I would say. Right? Now, it is available on all your, all your typical platforms. Links are on the website, people. So if Die Alone sounds like it could tickle your fancy, then, yeah, people, go check it out. Die Alone.